Hello, hello everyone. My name is Nicole Connor and I have the honor and privilege of interviewing Shaun Waight, who has recently taken a course by Coach Kiwi Whitehead, one of my all-time favorite people and my personal and business and social media coach as well. So of course there's a little love fest going on over here with Coach Kiwi, but I'm thrilled to interview Shaun today about his specific experience taking the art of social media, which if I understand correctly is your first class. But before I jump into that, I'm going to have you introduce yourself a little bit, Shaun, what you do for a living, and how you came to find Kiwi.
Okay, sure. Glad to be on with you and to have this opportunity. Really fortunate for me. But basically, my name is Shaun Waight, and I live in Amesbury, Massachusetts, kind of northeastern Massachusetts on the border of New Hampshire. And Maine is very close by too, and we're close to the ocean, so it's a beautiful area. I run an Airbnb up here with a property I have. I'm currently I'm a contractor, so I'm currently renovating at this tiny home, which I'm in now. That's why it kind of looks so rustic. And I'm also a realtor. So a lot of what I do involves real estate, like the actual building, remodeling, and sales, and real estate investing is what I really like to do. So
Awesome. Now, how did you come to find out about Coach Kiwi's classes and or coaching?
I found out through a friend of mine who was part of her. I guess they work together in an MLM, and then they support each other with the coaching and with all the different things that they're doing. So it was through a good friend I grew up with. She introduced me to Kiwi and mentioned that she, uses Kajabi and finds ways to take what we are really good at and put into programs to, have as a way to earn money, teach people what we do and how, and the nuts and bolts of our industries.
Excellent. That's awesome. So I presume you have more lofty goals than what you're currently doing, which is extraordinary. Lots of different streams of income there with an Airbnb, investing, your own home, contracting, real estate. That's awesome. So what was your thoughts of the art of social media, just the beginning, kind of getting your feet wet in social media? What prompted you to take that specific class?
I think I'm really big into, I love learning. When I was a kid, I wasn't so much into books and doing school stuff, but I really love learning. And I feel like no matter what the class is or the book is, you have to, my grandmother used to say, you need to read everything. And so I believe in reading everything. And I believe in, like, if I can take a course that has something that I'm interested in, and it's, the cost for the course was so reasonable, and the value based on what you pay for this course made it so that it's like, hey, for that much money, I'm sure I'm going to get an ROI on that that's going to exceed what it costs. It always does. If you listen
Right.
and apply some of the stuff, it always pays you back quadruple what you paid. So yeah, I'm a lifelong learner. I never want to stay stagnant. I always want to keep growing and keep learning, even if think you know something very well, which, I'm not afraid to mess things up. So I go on these social media platforms and I just press all the buttons, I dig around, and I wind up learning that way.
Yeah.
But so, but there was always something someone else knows that you don't, and that may be the one nugget that can really make a difference. And you're like, oh, okay, that's why they do this, and you have these light bulbs go off and you're like, okay, that makes sense. And it just makes you a smarter person and you grow.
Awesome. So what are a couple of things that you took away from taking the class, specifically as you've applied it to your goal in learning more about social media?
I didn't really use in the past, oops, sorry about that. I used social media a little bit because I did belong to an MLM a little while ago, and I used it for that, just mostly like showing the brand as I did stuff. I like health and fitness, so I love the whole health and fitness industry and what people are doing, with that, becoming health influencers. I think it's really cool, what they're doing. And so I was kind of dabbling in that a little bit. And um, patience is not one of my strong suits. So I kind of did that, and it was going okay, but then I just kind of like got tired and burnt out on social media, and I just closed all my accounts. So one of the things Kibi said is like, don't like have an account and then be growing your followers and then shut the account down. And I always felt like the stuff I was doing was like counterproductive. And when she said in the class that it is counterproductive, like she reiterated stuff I already knew in the back of my mind, that I was like, oh, that probably wasn't good, because now you're starting again, and the people who really liked your content can't, don't know where you are anymore. So
Right.
that was a big reminder for me. It was mostly reminders of things I already knew, like, oh, this is probably gonna, like, it's not gonna help me in the long term, which is
Mhm.
how you have to view social media, because it's constantly evolving and you have to just stay on it.
Did you find that learning a little bit about the nature of people is that they are always watching?
Yeah, I lost sleep over that fact. Like, oh my gosh, it's so true though. I mean, yeah. And it makes sense, because I had people I never thought, and it was actually good for me. Like any decision I make, I always find something I can extract out of it. So when I did shut down my Instagram account, I had so many people who had my phone number too, who were like, hey, where have you been? I missed your content. I missed seeing stuff. And I was like, really? I'm like, really? Like, you were following me and you liked seeing my posts? And they're like, yeah, it was so encouraging, or it was so this, so that. And I was like, oh my gosh. Well, and then I like just sent stuff to their phone, like text message style, for a little while, but it's unsustainable, because it's like, it's more work, that way. But yeah, so I noticed that it did affect people, and I was like shocked that I had people that like to see my life, as boring as it is.
Well, I think what's fun about, taking the art of social media is that social media truly is an art. And if you are creative and you are being genuinely you, people will follow you and you create an audience. And so with all of the services and businesses and anything that comes along in the future, if used properly and you're, bringing value to your community as it evolves, as you do, is
Yeah.
really a great way to build your online presence, but also to build your businesses in that way. And what I appreciated about the art of social media was like kind of the do's and don'ts. And I had to go back and revisit and take down and, kind of clean up the mess, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm sure you found value in it as well, as we all do, right? So tell me, was there any one thing that you would say would make you recommend this particular course to a fellow business owner or someone who's interested in building their online presence?
Yeah, I would recommend it, because it's very good, like foundational things that you need to know. And yeah, the do's and don'ts about, what to do and what not to do will make a huge difference. Because once you get that, it's almost like in real estate. Once a property, you have open houses and you don't do it the right time and the right way, they call it, it can be stigmatized. And then people
Mm-hmm.
are like, oh, how come it's been on the market for 3 months? The
Mm-hmm.
same thing can happen, I think, in your social media account. Once you make one comment, politically charged comment, or you you retaliate, and it can be like, it could take years to recover,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you could get a lot of people who originally liked you all of a sudden are like, they don't follow you anymore. So you have to be very careful. So you have to be very diplomatic and encouraging. You always have to be um, on the up and up on social media. So knowing that alone will help you a lot. So that's one thing I would say is nice about Kibi's course, is she mentions those things and shows you like why, and
So, is there anything specific for you that that you would like to tell Kibi or whoever's watching right now about your experience working with Coach Kibi directly?
Yeah, she's Southern. I mean, so, and that's it. She's Southern. That's all you need to know. She's a sweetheart. And she's got that awesome, twang to her voice that I wish I had sometimes. And she's a sweetheart. And yeah, and I enjoy a lot, you know, there is some meat to the material, and you do have to kind of focus and make sure you have the time to go through it, but it's very good. But then the weekly meetings
Mhm.
are great because that's not a huge commitment. It's very short. You kind of talk about the things you discovered or you have questions, and then you're off, and the rest of the team does their long. That I liked a lot because we're so like, we have a million appointments all day. We have stuff to do, and it's like to have another meeting at the end of the night. You're just like, oh gosh. But it was always pleasantly short.
Mhm.
So I like that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sean, for being with me today. I hope to see you around the community, the CCC, for other classes. There's so many more fun things to do and learn.
Yeah.
And like you have some lofty goals, my friend. So it's nice to meet you and welcome you as a part of this community. And we'll see you on our next interview.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.